I've read over 100 self-help books and I was inhaling them. I had bookshelves overflowing. I had stacks piling up by my bedside. And even after all that, even after all the hours I spent reading, nothing actually changed. I knew the theories, I knew the strategies, I knew all the frameworks and the acronyms. I could talk about atomic habits or habit creation or different frameworks for business models, but actually building anything, I had done absolutely nothing. Overall, I was no closer to being the person I wanted to be, with the business that I wanted, with the relationships that I wanted in my personal life, and feeling the way that I wanted to feel. Despite all this information, all this knowledge, it took me years of journaling and therapy and deep, uncomfortable introspection to uncover this one really simple truth about why I was reading all these books and achieving absolutely nothing. But before I share that with you, I want to dive into the anatomy of these types of books. What actually is a self-help book? Every self-help book is built upon the same simple journey. You start in a state of lack. You want something, a result, a feeling, a version of yourself that doesn't yet exist. And what the book promises is that if you read it and you follow its simple steps, the book will take you from where you currently are and get you the result that you want. It'll get you where you want to be. And in theory, that is a fantastic value proposition when it works. You read it and you implement it, whether that's you read the whole book from start to finish and then you implement the strategies therein, or you go step by step by step and build up and implement it bit by bit as you're reading. It doesn't really matter. The order doesn't matter. What matters is you're taking the reading and then you're applying it to your life and doing the actual steps. And that is the bit that I was failing to do. So for a lot of people, myself included, it almost feels like you're reading this book and then all that desire to implement, all the motivation disappears. It almost vanishes into thin air, gets sucked into some sort of motivational black hole. And you find yourself in this cycle where you're reading book after book after book, but you're actually not changing anything in your life. You can talk people to death until you're blue in the face about what these books say about how you should be living your life or how you shouldn't be living your life, or what this bit of research says or what that study tells us. But actually, fundamentally, you're not implementing anything. There's nothing that you're actually getting out of these books apart from entertainment. And I think I have an idea about why. So what I think is it comes down to that very, very first part of that journey. The premise of a self-help book, of these business books, is that to start reading them, you're fundamentally lacking something. You're not enough at this moment in time. For most people, that's great. You identify a gap, you find a book, you get the information, and you work on it. Bada bing, bada boom, everything works out great. But, and this is the critical part, people who have perfectionistic tendencies, people have this deep sense that they're not good enough, and that's why they need to be perfect. The system kind of breaks down because you inherently identify with this feeling of not being good enough. And what happens if you read the book and you actually take the steps? Well, suddenly now, according to this premise you've bought into, you're actually now good enough. You're actually doing the thing, you're succeeding. And that is going to cause a massive contradiction between your assumed identity, this fundamental belief that you're not good enough, and the actual evidence of your life. So what does your brain do? It protects the identity. So every time you lose motivation, every time you get distracted or a busy week throws you off task and then, you never quite get back around to doing the thing you were meant to be doing, that is your brain protecting you from actually implementing these goals and becoming good enough. It's slightly ridiculous. It seems almost counterintuitive that you would not want to then become good enough because you feel that you aren't good enough, and that's a struggle that hurts. It feels awful, but your unconscious doesn't actually see it that way. It's kind of the devil you know is better than the devil you don't situation when it comes to your psychology. So it is desperately trying to protect this identity that has, successfully got you to survive this long in life. That's what it's optimizing for, not for how good you're feeling. It's optimizing for survival. So overall, what ends up happening with these sort of perfectionistic people, myself included, is that you end up reading these books not because you want to actually implement what they're saying or what they're giving you, but because you're buying into that premise that you're not good enough. And it's confirming that belief. It's confirming that no, you're actually not good enough. And look at all the evidence about why you're not good enough. So then you're going to repeat doing that, but you skip the implementation step, which means that you never have to actually counteract that identity. And that's how you get caught in this loop that just keeps going round and round and round. And that's why you end up with stacks and stacks of books and absolutely no results. The obvious question here is, what the hell do you do about it? And I wish I had a good answer for you. I really do. Right now, the best answer I can give you is you need to figure out how to break that identity. That is the number one fundamental change that is going to unlock your ability to actually use these books the way that they're meant to be used. And there's a bunch of different approaches. There's no one size fits all. I wish there was. Currently, that's just not the state of psychological research. So what can I recommend? Get yourself to therapy. Go talk to a professional if you can and really dive into where this belief came from, what is it doing for you, and trying to challenge that belief in an environment that's designed for that. Otherwise, there's evidence and studies that suggest that you need to collect little tiny pieces of evidence over and over again. And as you keep doing that, you challenge the belief bit by bit by bit, rather than trying to do one whole big thing all at once and just break it immediately. Of course, that's a much slower approach. It's a much more difficult approach, but if you can get it to work, well, that's fantastic. So overall, what are my recommendations? If you're stuck in this cycle, the quickest thing to do is to just stop reading these books. Don't keep wasting your time reading book after book after book, which then confirms that identity that you aren't good enough. If you're not implementing your books and you've got evidence that you've not implemented your books, stop buying them. Don't buy any more. Don't read any more. Just stop. Step 2, go out, find a way to challenge that identity. Start implementing things. And when I say implementing things, I don't mean build a whole online business and try go big from the start. I am talking tiny little things. Go online, post a crappy YouTube video like I'm doing. Post on some forums, go to therapy, show your friends something you've built, even if it's just a tiny little piece of crap tool. It doesn't matter. Go out, start doing things. Start gathering evidence that you're enough. That's the best option I found when I've been doing the research. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into a problem I've been struggling with for years, and I really could have done with someone telling me this 10 or so years ago. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.